Hi kids, it's your dad. Today we're going to learn how to make dad's spaghetti. Really, I learned it from others. It's a recipe handed down from my mom's side of the family. Mary Lloyd made it, my mom made it, and my mom's mom, I think Bernadette made it. So we're here in Jim's kitchen. Not usually this is Carla's kitchen, but we're going to go in Jim's kitchen today to learn a bit how to make spaghetti. First of all, what do you need? Well, you need a big pan, and then you need ingredients. You need pound of ground beef. You can use, a little less is good. This one's happened to be a little bit more, but a little less is good. And then what I'm doing today is the original ingredients. The original ingredients have a can of Contadina at 6 ounces. But what's important in the challenge here is over time you want to move to the organic recipe, and which, when you buy the organic, okay, now we're at 7 ounces. You have to kind of estimate when you're using the organic what's the same amount. So that's where the same here with the original recipe calls for 2 of these cans, and these are each 15 ounces. So it takes 2 cans of Hunt's tomato sauce. And when I was taught the original ingredients, it's this can, these 2 cans, and 1 can of water. So what I usually end up doing is taking this, using it, then filling up halfway with water. Then I use this and halfway with water. By doing that, I get the 1 can of water and I rinse out the tomato sauce. Then you need there's not too much into it. There's 1 teaspoon of oregano and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And when I learned it, it was like a healthy teaspoon, so I always end up putting more garlic powder than oregano. And what I've added, so that's the original. What I've added, my own ingredient, is I put in a little bit of basil too. But you can put in whatever you want, but this is the base does not have it. My version has it. So let's see what we do. All right, step 1, you want to get the meat going first, and you turn up the stove to a reasonable degree. You're going to lower it later, but starting off, you want to brown the meat. So let's get the meat. We got to chunk it up and get the meat browned. Okay, let's get that meat all chunked up here. And so you can see here. Okay, I've been cutting it up now. Get it down to a good small size. And basically what we're waiting for now is for this to start to brown. And when it does, a lot of the fat will start to roll off and we'll come to a decision point. So let's see when we get to that fat point. So while that meat is getting to a good point here, one thing you can do then is get ready for the next stage, and that is start opening up your cans of sauce, because once we're ready, we're going to go boom, boom, boom. So you can do that. Okay, we got the cans ready to go here, and the meat is starting to get to that point. And what we're going to do now is put the lid on the meat and drain the fat. Now, that's the original way. Another option you have is to leave the fat in there. It can add to the flavor. It's a different way of doing it. It's something I've done a couple times, probably half and half. Sometimes I drain it. Over time, I stopped draining as much, but I learned it by draining it, so that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, I just drained the fat, get off garbage disposal, and I put this right back here. It all comes here. You got to shake it loose again, get it back spread out over everything, and we're ready to continue, which means we have our sauces ready to go. All right. Right after you drain that fat, it's time to pour in the sauce, and that takes some of the burning right out. And again, you want to fill this up halfway because you need 2 cans of water. So I kind of shake it around there, get that sauce off of there. All right, it's about a half can. Pour that in and repeat with the next can. Pour it in. And get about a half a can of water in. You get making sure all that sauce comes out and into your sauce. You have a nice clean can here. when you're done. So now you've got your 1 can of water and your sauce in. Now it's time to spoon in the paste. I'm going to do that now. Okay, now it's time to take this sauce and spoon it in. Oh, that sound. That's trying to get all that sauce off the spoon. That's how you know you're making spaghetti that night, because you're making that sound. You get it all out of there, and you make that sound. Everybody loves that sound. Trying to get that sauce off that spoon. All right, now all your sauces are in. You haven't put in any seasoning yet, but you start to stir it around first. Wooden spoon works best for that. All right, so here we go. Stir it around, get that paste broken up and mixed in now with the sauce. You can see it's starting to look like the real thing. All right, now it's time to get 1 teaspoon of oregano, garlic powder. I'm going to do probably 1.5 teaspoons when it gets down to really heaping. I'm going to do a heaping version of this, slightly heaping of this, and I'm going to use the same one I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of basil. That's how I do it. So again, original recipe is one, and that's it of this teaspoon. But I'm going to do a little bit more than 1 here. A good heaping, a little bit higher heap here, and just a half there. So let's do that. Okay, here's our oregano. Put that in. And here is our garlic. When I poured this teaspoon of garlic, I poured it over the sauce so it spills off, it goes in. So that's why you can see it's a good heaping teaspoon of garlic. I don't do 2 teaspoons, but it's a good heaping teaspoon of garlic. And now basil. And then a little bit of basil. You see that's there. It's a sweet basil. And you put that in. I put this in, I think when Mrs. Farrar, Scott's mom, used to put basil in hers. I started trying that. I thought, oh, that looks pretty good. I'll add some of that. That's my little stamp. You can keep it or not do that, but I add a little basil. And now we stir it all up. Now you mix in those ingredients. And as you're doing so, you can see it's warming up quite good. You want to bring it to a boil, like it's get the bubbles going in here. And then after it's done that, then you're going to let it simmer for an hour or more. The more you let it simmer, the more concentrated it gets, it gets better it gets. Okay, it got there pretty quickly. You can see those bubbles are going. So now I'm going to reduce my heat. Bring that way down to low. Of course, it doesn't have an immediate effect, but this should allow it to, you want to bring it down to just, it's called a simmer, a little bit on the edges of the pan, around the circle here. Show a little activity, but you got to get rid of these bubbles and not have it be so hot. But initially, you do need it to get this hot for everything to really mix in well. And then you bring it to a simmer. So I'll show you what that looks like when the heat gets reduced. Okay, so it's getting there. It's not quite there to the simmer, but it's getting close. I basically have taken it off the heat, put it back on the heat, now that the heat is lower, and brought down the temperature of it. So I can get it to a good spot where I can put the lid on and just let it simmer. And then, even with the lid on, you want it cracked a bit so that some of it can escape. You don't want a tight fit over the lid. You want it to be a loose fit so that some of it can get out. But starting to smell good. Not just looking like a sauce, smelling like a sauce now. And I think the temperature's getting pretty good in here. Not too many bubbles coming out, some, but we're getting very close to the simmering spot. So while you're waiting for the heat to reduce, it's a good time to take a look at, what's been going on over here. I've thrown away some of the cans over there. I'm going to be cleaning this stuff off here in a second because, right now, you find a spot to put your spoon. Maybe you could have done that before. This is a good one. We've got a nice plate here for putting in spoons. The best things in life, the people we love, the places we've been, and the money we've made along the way. So that's a good one right there. But look how you help your future self by just cleaning this off right now. Look how easy that comes off. Now, if you leave that for a couple hours, Takes a little more elbow grease to get that off. You clean it off now, much easier. So it'd be good to your future self. Clean off now. I'm gonna have to cut my hands to get that part off, but so you do a little cleanup while you're waiting for that heat to reduce. All right, that's much better. This is looking better over here. Heat's coming down. Got a good spot for the spoon and everything. Oh, wait a minute. All right, much better. See, look at that. All right, nice. All right, I think we're getting ready. Still a couple bubbles in there. It's not bad. Much. That's not bad. You can have a little bubble or two. And let it simmer. Put that down. And we're about ready to say, hey, could you stir this every now and then? And that you can let that process go for at least an hour, but it could be 2, 3, or 4 hours. You could do that. You're just bringing down the amount of sauce you have available as you cover it up a little bit. Let some escape, but keep most of it trapped in there. And then you're good. So that way it doesn't get too hot by giving that escape valve. So pretty good shape here. Okay, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get some groceries. You mind just stirring it every now and then?
Okay, I'm not taking it.
Normally that's my job. She makes a better sauce. I have the job that I usually am. Oh yeah, sure, I can stir it. But now this time, tables turned, baby. All right. A lot of cooking, you use salt, but one thing you don't need salt for is the sauce. But it is worth putting in the water here as we're getting to this stage now. A little salt in the water helps with the pasta. So had this on for 9 minutes. That means it's been boiling for 8 minutes. They're pretty much al dente. Like it's just a little bit hard. I'm going to take these off now. You can boil pasta your own way, but I just thought I'd show that step too. So let's go ahead and take this guy over. Yeah. All right, we're ready for plating. All right, we're ready to put those 2 nice plates of pasta. Get them, we're gonna some nice sauce on there. Let's do that. All right, ready for the first one. Let's go. All right, we all know the importance of good plating here. All right, we're ready for that first one right there. All right, let's get the second one. There we are. 2 plates of spaghetti. Give them about a couple minutes to cool off. They're pretty hot right now, as you can see. That vapor coming off. Nice. All right, we shall be serving in a couple of minutes. And here we have the final product. As you can see, when Dad makes spaghetti, it is just spaghetti. There's nothing else on this table. You see no greens on this table.
Where's
That's
the
always what I
broccoli?
see Dad. But when Mom said, why don't you make your spaghetti? And it'll be, yep, you just made spaghetti. But there you go, final product. Hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna do a little tasting now after we say prayers, and I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, so let's. How is it?
Very good. Wait a minute, how do I say? Buon appetito. Bene.
I've already added my second. I usually get started, and then I put a little more sauce on just because I like that, all that sauce. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.